Last thing, you did a tweet storm. We never covered this. And then I just posted an article about it. We should talk about it. Biden administration, what is it going to do for climate change and for companies working in space?
All right. Here are the stats. 6 to 10 million JOBS. Something like 80% growth in solar installations, 50% growth in wind installations in the US. Big investments into universities, big investments into EV charging. Some weird thing about big investments into weatherization. But like the headline grabber, and big investments into transmission. Here's the fun part of this. I would venture that 80% of that got done under either administration, if not more. Everybody, so the Biden jobs discussion was great. It was noteworthy, but like it's just like how the world's moving. Biden said 10 million. I think I estimated 8. It was probably 7 would still happen under a Republican administration. Because like, okay, you know, when you're going to take a transmission pipeline or transition line through, from the Midwest all the way to the Northeast, like Oklahoma's going to say yes to jobs. Missouri is going to say yes to jobs. Tennessee's going to say yes to jobs. Was going to happen anyways. Like 90% of it, just because the costs are already coming down, was going to happen. So like, that's why I'm not showing any political stance here other than like, it's the future. And everybody's now realizing that it's a bipartisan position to want to endorse renewables.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think along those lines, as I was digging in and kind of segmenting out what could the Biden administration do without control of Congress versus with control of Congress. 10 or so things have bipartisan support out of the 16 that I found. The difference seems to be how each party wants to get it done. Republicans seem to tend to want to get things done through tax cuts, whereas the Democrat initiative is just to spend money against it and provide incentives. Mm-hmm. But I'm with you. I think they both have the same goal. One of the things that I was actually surprised by is that emission standards, carbon taxes, credits for the social cost of emissions have actually had bipartisan support. It's just been some argument over the price, how it's structured, but both parties actually do it. And I actually think the other thing here is, and without getting into politics, this is going to be done by states and cities. And so the national government's not going to matter. And cities tend to lean more toward efficiency, regardless of actually who the party is in control.
Yeah, you nailed it, man. I think it's just like energy is getting decentralized. The decision making on these decisions are decentralized. It'll be done for local jobs, healthier jobs, higher paying jobs. And it's gonna be funny. Like, I just don't think it's gonna be a conversation in 4 years.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it's first of all, it's not a conversation anywhere in the world except for here. We should be very clear about that. Like, even China has carbon tax. Like, this is not it's only a conversation here. Like, even Houston, whose economy is totally dependent on oil and gas, is investing in renewable energy. Aramco is diversifying, not because they feel like they need to get rid of their control position in oil and gas, right? Like, I said this to Jonathan the other day. If you have a company who can control and manipulate a market and is now saying this market is not worth manipulating anymore, from an economic perspective, that just tells you where things are headed.
Yeah, I think that I have friends in the private equity oil and gas space who are excellent at big projects, infrastructure projects, extraction, and they're just thinking, okay, if our asset is that intelligence, how can we move that into a renewable position? Mm-hmm. So I think you'll see a rebranding of a lot of those firms, whether it's SPAC University or
you saw me make fun of these people on Twitter where it's like, we're bringing our expertise to ESG, and it's like, really, you're a midstream private equity company. You are good at big projects, but let's just not call it expertise. Did you see? This is not riding with Biden, but did you see Oxy's Occidental's thing today?
No.
Okay, you should look it up. They are pivoting from an oil and gas company to a carbon capture company.
The company or the group? Like, are they like a,
No, the CEO said this is the direction we're going. They put out a big document. It's a big plan. They said they're on track to be a carbon capture company, and they laid out like 4 or 5 stages that they want to complete. It's a super. It feels like a PR play, but they've now said they're going to be a carbon capture company.
yeah, you know.
But you called this last time we talked. You said everybody's going to be an ESG company.
Yeah, they're the extraction, the other kind of carbon capture, like taking stuff out, taking carbon out, put carbon back in. What are they good at? They're good at big infrastructure projects. You know, we have Mark Tomasovic from our team, and he's excellent. And he tells me every day, it's like they're really good process-oriented firms. It's like the military. It's like if they want to commit to a big, audacious goal, they can do it if it requires. Like they're good at it if it requires good process.
Yeah,
the biggest projects will require, incredible like engineering and process excellence.
Yeah. By the way, for the 5 of you that are listening to this video, follow Mark on Twitter.
Yes.
His Twitter's awesome. Like he's just posts cool pictures of like, here's me in a tank.
Yeah, he's gonna this world of colliding. We look smarter by the day for hiring Mark at Energize. He's going to uncover a few gems for us. He already is, but
Mark, save this.
Him yet.
Save this clip for your next review with John. Just put it down.
It's in like 10 days.